Hi lovely people and welcome back to my tutorial for today. I sincerely appreciate you guys for your love and your support. And please, if this is your first time stopping by, kindly hit on that red icon to subscribe. And also touch the notification bell to let all to be the first to be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now today's class we shall be looking at how to make this beautiful play dress with yoke. Okay, so first of all we'll be cutting the down part first before the up part. All right, so let's get started. Okay, first we'll be folding our fabric in a triangular form this way. This is my fabric. Okay, so I just hold one of the edge this way, then fold it like this. Okay, this way, just fold it like so. Okay, so this is what I mean, this way. All right, okay, so this is what you will have, but this is actually if you want your flay to be full. All right, but if you don't want it to be full, you can also adjust it. So for the person that I'm making this dress for, he doesn't want it to be that much full, so I'm going to adjust it this way. All right, you just shift it to reduce the fullness of the dress. Okay, okay, so this is what I want. All right, so in this kind of dress you don't need your hip measurement. You just only need the length and your waist measurement, and the waist I'm working with is 32 inches. Divide by 4 will give us 8 inches. All right, we are dividing by 4. So here this way I will find my 8 inches, and I'll add extra one for joining to make it 9 inches. So when I get my 9, I will mark. All right, so this is our 9 inches here. All right, so I'll just mark it this way. All right, so from here now I will take the length of our dress is 55 inches, and our half length is 15 inches. So 54. When you take away 15 inches minus 55 inches, we have 40. So here I will take my 40 inches. All right, I'll just mark my 40. I'll keep on adjusting, and I'll be marking my 40 inches. All right, after which I will join the whole dots together. Okay, so here I have my 40. Okay, I will just connect. Okay, so this is what we have. All right, this way. And when you look at this point now, you will see that this is where this one ends. But our marking exceeded to this point. So what I will do now is just to cut out this, then after which I will cut out another patch and join it here. Okay, so that it will be equal with this down part. All right, so I'll just go ahead now and cut this out. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and cut out another piece to complete this part. All right, so now I'll proceed in cutting out the back part. Okay, I'll just open up this sheet and place this front part this way. Okay, making sure I leave an allowance of like 1.5 inches or 2 inches depending what you want for my zipper. Okay, so I'll just place it this way. All right. Okay, so I'll just go ahead now and cut this out. All right, I leave about 1.5 inches. Okay, let's be sure. Okay, okay, this is 2 inches. I leave about 2 inches here for our zipper. All right, so I'll just go ahead now and cut this out. Okay, this is what we have. So I'll just carefully remove the front part. Then for this back, before I cut the other second back, I will make sure I check, all right, the front part, because I'll be facing the front to face the front part before I cut it. Otherwise, I'll end up cutting out the same facing. All right, so this is the front part now. I'll go ahead now and open up this one. Okay, so for this is the front part of this dress here. Okay, so I'll check the front part of this one also. So this is the front part here, so I'll just place it this way. Okay, the front part facing the front part, so I'll just put it this way, like so. Okay, just make sure that they are equal. All right, so I'll just go ahead now and cut it out. Okay, so I'll just go ahead now and cut out a little piece to complete this front part. All right, then I'll cut out the lining for it. Remember, I cut out the exact length of the dress. I did not add any extra inches for folding because I will be lining, they will be turning out or out up with the lining. Okay, so if you are using a lining, I will advise you don't add extra an inch, because if you add, by the time you sew it up at the edge and try to push it downwards, okay, before sewing the part, you will end up at this upper part being stressful. Okay, because it will give you a bit too head to do it. So I just advise, just sew it up, okay, then turn it over and close the side. In that way you won't have a little much stress to go through. Okay, So I'll just go ahead now and cut out my lining for it. But before then, we'll be going back or over to the table to cut out the upper parts of the dress. Okay, now go ahead to cut out the upper part. Alright, so I'll be using this for the yoke and also for the sleeve. The sleeve will be a pencil sleeve with a buff at the as the band. Okay, so I'll be using this also for the sleeve. Alright, for the pencil sleeve, and I'll use this material for the buff. Alright, okay, so let's go ahead and cut the main body. Okay, so here I'll just fold my fabric into two to cut out the center part first. So first I'll take my shoulder measurement, and the shoulder I'm working with is 16 inches divided by 2 to give us 8 inches. Alright, so I'll mark my 8 inches here, and I'll mark my 3 inches for our shoulder slope. Okay, so here the length of our blouse, sorry, of the upper part, our half length is 15 inches. I added extra 1 inch for joining. All right, okay, so our under bust measurement is 14 inches. I'll mark 14 and a half. Okay, the half is for joining. All right, okay, now shoulder to nipple measurement, that is our breast point, it's 10 and a half. All right, plus that half, making it 11 inches. Okay, so I'll just check the difference between the bust point to under bust, and I have 3.5. I'll go up by that 3.5 here. Okay, I'll mark my 3.5. Right, so I'll just make a straight line here, here, and here. Okay, all right, so at thus our shoulder, I'll come down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope. Okay, then I'll mark my 3 inches. All right, making it 4. So I'll just connect this line together this way. Okay, then from that 1 inch I'll connect it to this 3 inches. All right, here, as you can see, this cutting of princess bust here is very easy. So the next thing to do now is to take my nipple to nipple measurement. All right, and nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 7 inches. Divide by 2 to give us 3.5. So I'll be adding extra inches for my joining. So here, if you are making use of half an inch, you add. If you're making use of quarter, you add. So here I'm making use of quarter inch, so plus my 3.5 to give us 3.75. all right, so here I will take my 3.75. I'll mark my 3.75 here. Okay, I'll come down here again and mark my 3.75. And I'll also mark it here at our under bust, 3.75. I'll also come down here at our half length to mark my 3.75. all right, so the next thing to do now is to go ahead and join this straight line. Okay, all right, so from those 4 inches here, I will just connect it this way. Okay, so I'll just go ahead now and cut this out. Okay, you can equally go ahead and take out our neckline. All right, remember this is our 8 inches here. Okay, so here I'll be taking a neckline of 4 inches, right? Okay, then the neck depth of 5 inches, or let's say 4.5. So I'll just connect it to this, to that 4 inches. You can choose to make a neckline of your choice, right? I'll just take this. Okay, so this is what we have. So now here I will notch out those 3 points. Our upper bust, our nipple point, and our under bust. So I'll go ahead now and fold this again into 2 to take out my side. Okay, I'll just fold this again into 2. All right, then I'll place the center parts here, making sure that I have up to 2.5 inches at the back of this place. All right, I'll make sure I have up to 2.5 here. Okay, so I'll just place this. Okay, I'll just mark all these notched parts. Okay, the next thing to do is to sketch out this. Okay, I'll take my armhole measurement. So the armhole I'm working with here is 17 inches divided by 2 to give us 8.5, right? So from here, from this upper part, I will take my 8.5 inches. Okay, all right. So here I will take my bust measurement, and the bust I'm working with is 38 inches divided by 4 to give us 9.5. Okay, sorry, my measurement will start from this part. So here I will take my 9.5, which is here. So I'll add extra 2 inches here for my sewing allowance. So here I'll take my waist measurement, and the waist I'm working with is 32 inches divided by 4 to give us 8 inches. Okay, so here I'll mark my 8 inches, and at this point I'll be adding 2.5 inches for my sewing allowance. Okay, so here, so at this point now I'll just connect this. Just connect this way. Then from here now, coming down, I'll connect it. Okay, so I have those. So now I'll carefully remove those parts. Now from the center part, I'll take 2.5 inches. From here, I'll mark my 2.5 inches, which is here. Okay, so from those parts now, I will connect from this point to these 2 and a half this way. Then from here I will connect to the under bust. Just make sure that it's not pointed, okay? To this part. So here I will go ahead now and cut this out. Okay, so this is what we have. So I'll go ahead now and cut out my back piece. Okay, so this is for our back parts. All right, so I mark out 2 inches here this side. Remember, for the down parts we have 2 inches for our zipper, so also I'll mark 2 inches here for our zipper allowance. Okay, so my measurements will now start from this point. Okay, so remember the shoulder we are working with is 16 inches into 2 to give us 8 inches. All right, so I'll mark my 8 inches here, mark my 3 inches for our shoulder slope. Okay, so here I'll mark 1 inch for our shoulder slope. Okay, then the armhole we are working with, sorry, is 17 inches into 2 to give us 8.5. So I'll mark my 8.5 inches here. I'll just go ahead now and connect it. Okay, so I'll connect my shoulder slope this way. Okay, I'll make a straight line here. So at this point, I'll take half of this. This is 4.25. Okay, so here I'll take my bust measurement. The bust I'm working with is you're working with 38 inches. Divide by 4 to give us 9.5. So I'll mark my 9.5 inches here. I'll mark 2 inches for seam allowance. Okay, the waist we are working with is 32 inches into 4 to give us 8 inches. Then I'll add extra 2 inches for allowance. Okay, okay. So from here, just connect it, or you can use your French curl to do this. Okay, so here for our neck depth, sorry, our neckline, remember for the front we use 4 inches, so we are going to use the same 4 inches at our front. Okay, so here is my 4 inches, and for the neck depth I'm making use of 2 inches. But let's say, yeah, 2 inches. Okay, here, so I'll just connect it this way. All right, so I'll just go ahead now and cut this out. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and cut out my lining for this, and also cut a wooden to pad my breast part. Okay, I'll cut out a wooden for here for this part. And after that, I'll go to my machine and join those front parts first. Then after joining it, I'll come back and show you what we'll be removing to get our yoke. We'll be using this for that. So let me just go over now to cut out the lining for it, my wooden, and I'll use my iron to gum it to the fabric. Okay, then I will join it and I'll come back to show you what I have. Okay, so as you can see, I've lined up my fabric with the linings, and I've also gone ahead to join the upper part to the lower part of my back dress. Okay, so this is it. So I'll also close up the zipper part, then I'll attach my zip to the zipper area, and that will be all for the back. Then for the front part, this is my lining joined together. Okay, and this is the front part. All right, so what I did, okay, so this is it. So I'll just go ahead now and fold it into two. Okay, so just fold it two equal parts and make sure that is equal. Okay, all right. So the next thing to do now is to determine the how I want my yoke to be, the length that I want to use for my yoke. Okay, so here I'll be minusing 7 inch. Okay, so just take my 7, so let me take 6.5. Okay, so here is my 6.5. So I'll just mark it, just make a straight line there. Okay, so this is it. So I can decide to cut this straight, or I can decide to give it a neckline of my choice before cutting it out. Okay, so here I will just do something like this. Okay, I'll just make it in form of a sweet heart, just a little bit, not that too sweetheart. Okay, just to give it a little bit of shape. So I'll just go ahead now and cut it out. Okay, so this is what I have. So I will just use this piece here to cut out my net. So I'll use this net now to replace this. Okay, I'll just fold my fabric into two, then place this here. This folded part will be I'll face it to this other folded part. Okay, this way. So here I won't be cutting exact of this shape. I'll cut it straight, so that when I line it, I'll cut out the excess that I have after lining it up with the main dress. Okay, so this is what I mean. But I'll be taking out this our neckline this way. Okay, And whatever you are cutting out, remember to add an allowance that you will use in joining it, okay? All right. So this is what we have. So I'll go ahead now, use my bias, the matching bias, to tape the neck. After that, I'll now turn it the front facing. We will be facing the front of this dress this way. Okay, this way. So I'll go ahead now and make a stitch. Okay, I'll just go ahead and run a stitch to this. After which I will have something like this. Then after doing this, I will now join. After doing this, I will now turn it over with my lining. So let me just rush to the machine now and do this. Okay, join it to the body, and I'll come and show you how we'll be using our lining to turn it. Okay, I'll stitch it up to the dress. So I'll go ahead now to remove the excess part. Okay, so this is it. Now I'll go ahead to notch this part. Okay, so this is what I have. Okay, so for the lining, you just place it this way. Okay, this then this is the right part. Okay, I'll just fold this inward this way. Then I'll place this the back part this way. You can as well just fold this and minus like 4 inches. I'll just take off some parts, just a little bit. Okay, this way. So I'll place it this way now, and I'll stitch it up like this. After which I will turn it this way, and I will have something like this. Okay, so let me just go to the machine now and stitch it up. I'll stitch it up like this. Okay, okay, so I've stitched this place up with my lining. I'll just go ahead now and trim out the excess parts. Okay, so I'll make a notch here to make it relax just a little bit. So I'll turn it this way. Okay, so this is the lining. You can also go ahead and top stitch it at the upper part this way. Okay, it's just a matter of choice if you like, or if you can also just omit that part. All right, so here you determine if you also want to turn out the both sides. If not, this is okay. Okay, you can just stitch up here and here, then join it to the down part. But I want to turn this side also, so I'll just fold it inward again this way. Okay, then I'll stitch up here and here. Just make sure that this thing did not extend. Okay, just fold it here, stitch up here. Okay, let me turn it to start. Stitch up here and here. Okay, then from those down parts you can turn it out, then now stitch the down part, after which I'll go ahead and join it to the down part of my dress. Okay, I'll join it to the down part here and then use my body measurement to join the part. Remember, the only body measurement that we are making use of in this dress, it's only the bust measurement and the waist measurement. We don't need the hip measurement because remember that this is a flared dress. Okay, so just use the bust and the waist measurement to join it up, then now sew from that waist, now sew straight. Okay, that's just it. So I'll just go to the machine now and do justice to that. Okay, that's the result of our dress, and as you can see, I've also gone ahead to attach the sleeve. Just cut your normal pencil sleeve and cut a long fabric, length of your choice and width of your choice. Okay, just fold here and attach your elastic, then gather up here to the length of the sleeve, then attach it. Okay, that's all. So thank you for watching till the end, till we meet in my next class. Love you all.